I'm Jimmy Finizzi alongside Neil Villapiano, and this is your Jersey Shore Whalers update. First of all, Neil, pleasure to see you again, man. How are you?
I am doing very well. How about yourself?
I can't complain too much, so let's start off this update with the 15U team, as by the time you are watching this update, they just got done beating the Jersey Hitmen by a score of 4-2. They are now 7-4 overall, 5-4 in league play, and Neil, one player that really catches my eye in this 15U team is Chris Loray. Another 2-goal performance by him. Back-to-back 2-goal games. The one yesterday against the Philadelphia Hockey Club, and now the one that we just got done doing against the Jersey Hitmen. This kid's something special.
Yeah, he really is the real deal. He's a phenomenal player with a lot of speed. He has a lot of promise as he continues to get older and older, and this is a kid you want to keep your eye on for a very long time because he really can play. He had a phenomenal game just now. He's played very well throughout the course of the season, and to me, he's only going to get better as the year goes along.
And we should also mention the goaltending in that game we saw too. One of the best goaltender performances by both goalies that we have seen, but Kolekia, some of the saves that he made have been phenomenal. He is outstanding for this team.
Yeah, Kolekia had a really, really good game today. He was very solid. He did give up 2 goals, but both of them were just some tough breaks that sometimes the goaltender just can't do anything about. But for the most part, he made the saves he had to make, and he kept his team in front, especially once they retook the lead at 2-1. So he was phenomenal. He looked really good, and he just continues to look more and more solid.
Point leaders for the 15U team, I mentioned Chris Loray. Now he has 12 points on the season, and Andrew Michelizzi, he may not have any goals, but he is an assist monster. He has 6 assists so far. That gives him 6 points. Michelizzi is just a pass waiting to happen.
Yeah, he really is. He does a really good job of setting up his teammates. He's a very unselfish player. He doesn't mind not scoring as long as his team wins the game. He doesn't mind setting up everyone else to score. Again, he focuses on just the team aspect, and that's really what you want. You want team guys, and he's certainly one of those.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to the 16U team, who we'll be seeing later on in the year. They are 3-3-1 overall, have a league record of 2-1, recently coming off really some tough losses. This past Friday, they lost to the Maine Moose in overtime 4-3, and then this past Saturday, I mean, that was just not a good look for the 16U team, as they lost 5-1 to the Hartford Wolfpack, and they got a lot of cleaning up to do after that game.
Yeah, they certainly do, but you know, you look at it this way. You take it one game at a time. Hockey is such a magical sport that you never know when the momentum can shift, and you could all of a sudden go from having a bunch of really tough losses to a bunch of really big victories. So take it one game at a time, understand the things that are not going right, know how to fix them, and just like that, if you just continue to be aggressive, eventually things are going to start going your way. That's how this game works.
And being aggressive too, this 16U team got off to a real strong start with a league record of 2-0 with wins over the Hitmen and the Connecticut Junior Rangers respectively, and their last league game was well, let's call it a nail biter to say the least, as they were down 4-1, battled back, falling just short 4-3, and they are currently at a showcase this weekend, so this is going to be interesting to see how they'll bounce back.
I think they'll bounce back perfectly fine, to be honest with you. Like I said, you take it one game at a time, you understand and you want to fix the things you got to correct, and they will figure it out, and they will be fine. That's the way you look at it. That's how this goes. So I have full confidence in the U16 team. I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll start to get themselves rolling here, and they'll continue to have success this season.
Let's look at some of the point leaders on the 16U team. Jake Bailey has 8 assists. Boy, is he a monster with passing the puck. Harris Hilfiger with 5 goals, and Jack Spagnolia with 3 goals and 3 assists. And the goaltenders, Corey Finnegan and Mitchell Quinn, have been sharing the time in net with a .902 save percentage and .916 save percentage respectively. So they have been on an absolute tear. Finnegan is currently 2-2-0, and Quinn is 1-1-1. Now let's move on to the 18U team. They are currently 6-4-1 overall, and league they are 3-0. So that is huge for the 18U team. So this past Friday they got a huge 6-1 win over the Maine Moose, and I can't say enough about this kid. He's been a surprise. Golf, he had another big game, 2 goals, 2 assists, and this past Saturday they got a big win over the Pittsburgh Vengeance, 9-2. And I gotta tell you, we're going to see the 18U team pretty soon. This is going to be good to see how they're going to compete.
Well, you obviously got to talk about Big Game G right there. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal since the season started. He's really been one of the leaders of the team, but they have gotten off to a really, really good start. They're obviously 3-0 in the league, and that's important as the season goes along. So that's something to keep an eye on as the year goes along, and that's really important. So they're off to a very good start, and I think that as long as they just stay the course and continue to do the things that they've been doing that are working, they should continue to have a lot of success as the year goes along.
Look at some of the point leaders for the 18U team. As usual, the Franzoni brothers are the point leaders. Matt Franzoni with 9 goals and 8 assists, and Michael Franzoni with 4 goals and 3 assists. And I mentioned Justin Gulf has a bit of a surprise. 7 goals, 4 assists. This kid's something special for this Whalers organization as a whole.
Yeah, he is a special player, and he is, as I mentioned, he's off to a fantastic start this year. And he's just one of those guys you have a feeling where he's just going to continue to get better every single game. As the chemistry builds, as the success continues to pile on, you're going to see this kid want to win more and more and more and continue to get success, and he's going to get rewarded. That's how this game works. So that's what we're going to see as the year goes along.
And also worth noting on the 18U, Matt Herrick, a name we know very well. He was named Defensive Player of the Week with a goal and 2 assist performance in last week's game against the Connecticut Junior Rangers. So it's not going to be nice to see Matt Herrick again, but that's a huge honor for Defensive Player of the Week.
It definitely is, and when you look at that, you see a kid that not only can be a very solid defenseman, but he can also be a good offensive defenseman. And I think if you have more defensemen that are balanced in both categories, I think you have a very solid defense that can really be a threat on both sides of the ice. So he's a very good player, and that's a guy you got to keep your eye on.
Sorry about that, Neil. Now, finally, the team we cover the most, the Premier team. Well, as it stands right now, they are obviously off to a little bit of a shaky start. They're 2-4-1 overall. Saturday, they dropped a close game 3-2 to the Boston Junior Bruins, and let's face it, Neil, we've covered this team already. They've been trying really, really hard to get on the right track, and so far, only 2 wins and 4 losses. It has not been the start they wanted.
No, it certainly hasn't been the start I'm sure they would hope for, but at the same time, we talked about it before last week when we were covering their games. Chemistry takes a long time to develop. It doesn't happen overnight. So as the season goes along, they're going to get more and more chemistry. They're going to build more relationships with each other, and that's going to translate to on-ice success. So that's what you got to hope for, and that's what you got to keep your eye on as the year goes along. Again, it's still early. They've only played 6-7 games. So there really isn't much to say right now. Let's give it a few months and let's see where they go from there. At that point, then you could start to really see what may or may not be the problems as it goes. But that team still is a very solid team. They look fine. They look ready to go. I'm sure that they will turn it around. I have full confidence in them.
And part of that chemistry development is that core of younger players who, let's face it, well, Trent Fleming obviously named one of the captains, so he can provide excellent leadership for that young core of players. So that is also a big part of chemistry.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think that it's going to continue to get better. Coach Rob Trella is going to help with that. He's very good at that, building chemistry with his team. So, you know, just give it time. Just give it time, and eventually it will work out, and the Whalers will continue to have success. Do not be surprised if they're in a good position by the time we hit December.
Absolutely. Let's look at some point leaders for the Premier team. A familiar face, Nick LaBianca, as the point leader, 2 goals, 2 assists. Jared Fisher, a goal and 3 assists. Trent Fleming has a goal in the year, back at his natural position as a forward. So nice to see him back doing what he loves, and that's hopefully scoring. And Evan McNamara, another familiar face, a goal and 3 assists, but that will obviously change. And the goaltending, Alex Albovlenin, again, we apologize if we're saying his last name incorrectly, but this kid, I swear, he probably is one of the best goalies I've ever seen.
I can agree with you there. He's a big kid. He likes to play aggressive in front of the net. He makes it really tough for you to get a goal past him. And unfortunately, sometimes you get some bad luck as a goaltender, but for the most part, he's made the saves he's had to make. He's been solid in the net, and if he continues to play like this, the Whalers are going to get a lot of victories and continue to get a lot of success.
Well, so far the season has been strong for the Whalers, but like we said, the Premier team will get on the right track, so a little bit of positivity to look forward there. And also, one thing, on October 20th, right after the Whalers game, they're doing a Meet the Players and a practice, which we already saw them doing once this year, but that's an amazing opportunity for some of the fans to meet these players and get an opportunity to practice with them on the ice. That's got to be fun.
Well, it allows the kids that are continuing to develop, the much younger kids, get a chance to see these guys and see what it's like to be part of the Whalers organization. It's a fine organization, and it's a really good opportunity to get to know these guys on a more personal basis, because other than watching them on the ice, you really don't get to these opportunities to know them that well, and especially because a lot of these kids are not even from this area and maybe not even from this state, but you get a chance to do that. So I think that's a great thing that the Whalers are doing, and I hope they do more of it because it's just a phenomenal thing for kids to experience.
And they did one already this year, and they'll be doing hopefully a lot more this year, because that's amazing for the fans to be able to interact with this core of Whalers players.
Yeah, there's definitely no doubt about that. I mean, it's a great event. It's a great thing that the Whalers do, and like I said, I hope they do more of them.
Absolutely. We want to remind you that all league home games for the Whalers are broadcast right here on Hockey TV. The next time you'll see Neil and I will be calling the game against the New Jersey Rockets. That'll be the Whalers Premier team. That's on October 13th. Puck drop is at 5:50. We hope you'll join us. Neil, it should be fun, and thanks for joining me for this update.
Of course, happy to be here.
Anytime, man. For Neil Villapiano, I'm Jimmy Finizzi.
That's right, Whaler fans. Come on out for our next meet and practice with the Jersey Shore Whalers Premier team. The next event will be on Saturday, October 20th, immediately following the game with the Philadelphia Hockey Club. The event is open to all players from mite up to bantam. Full equipment is required. The event is free.